get out of my little, let's say, temporary office and just kind of get out and about a little bit. The mic should be good enough for you to hear me. It's a strange time as far as I'm concerned. The Aquarius theme is what is, let's say, filling up my thoughts right now. And in some ways, the deepest, most profound aspect is the Aquarius South Node of the United States. We're basically born with, oh, who's that? Necessary Truths. Greetings. Hi. Maybe you got one of my notifications or something. So I still have a little cup of coffee here. I'm way up in the sort of northeastern section of Las Vegas. I'm just trying to get some, clarity, perspective, whatever you want to call it. Now, with the Aquarius South Node, think of the characteristics of the South Node. Okay. Mostly, it's to do with like a default setting from birth, like your natural tendencies from birth. For most people, when they're dealing with the South Node in their own sign, whoever you are, everyone is born with a South Node aspect somewhere in their chart, whatever that is, whatever it looks like. If it's Cancerian, if it's Cancer, then you might be prone to being very domestic, being a householder, having had family and kids, and so on, and being very concerned about, security and comfort and things. The Gemini South Node, you might in this lifetime have a natural tendency to over-communicate, over-talk, just whatever comes out of your brain comes out of your mouth kind of situation. And the whole idea with the nodal axis is that there's an opposite side, which would be the North Node. And for most people, the North Node is more or less like an aspirational journey, but we don't become aware of it until typically later in life, after people have gone through all sorts of, I would say, automatic default behavior, which is from birth. And then you realize, wait a minute, my storyline doesn't seem to be working there. Things keep falling apart. One of the characteristics about the South Node is that for many people, it can feel like a drain. Okay, there was some kind of disconnection there for a moment. Maybe I'm just, probably far away from a decent signal. But anyway, so with the South Node settings for the Americas, for July 1776, if you trust that particular chart, we're born with the South Node in Aquarius. And so our natural tendency here as a nation, as a population, as a country, is to be egalitarian. We're very concerned about humanity. We're very concerned about what is good for the community. We're very concerned about basically everyone else besides us. The Aquarian South Node is in some ways very ego-less, okay? If you think of Aquarian themes like community, if you ever watched the movie March of the Penguins, that I think is a very good analogy for a healthy Aquarian vibe, where community takes care of itself and there isn't any particular leader at any one moment in time. The leadership tends to oscillate, and all the adults give each other space and room to have their moment of glory in the sun, especially when conditions get very, very harsh. People on the outside of the population do their rotation and they allow themselves to go deeper into the center of the crowd where it's much warmer and safer, and so on. So with America, you might have noticed that we have these kind of tendencies to just give it away. It's become very prominent. Wait a minute, I need to get my coffee here. Hold on. It's become a very obvious theme in American discourse right now. And people are fuming online, pretty much everywhere you go. Like, okay, America, American government in particular, why on earth you keep giving away billions and trillions of dollars to every freaking country on earth that you think deserves it? You know, pouring money into, I don't know, African nations, into Middle East, into, you know, bridges and border walls. Hold on, there's some, those are just routine patrol helicopters for the cops. Let's just ignore them for a minute. Why are we continuously pouring trillions of dollars outside the United States when we need it here? Second thing is that why are we pouring money out at all in that regard? The infection of the, let's say, the theme of doing good for the people has been, I would say, hijacked and exploited by certain elites at the very, very top, especially in the banking world and the federal government. It's like they are deliberately operating at the least conscious level of behavior, which would be the equivalent of South Node behavior gone awry, where they're not even attempting to mature and grow and evolve towards the North Node dynamic. So people are complaining like, well, what about America? We're crashing deeper and deeper into poverty. Okay, and thank you, U.S. Fed. Crashing deeper into poverty, greater and greater inflation, greater and greater devaluation of our U.S. dollar. What does that equal? Poverty. If you're earning, say, $35,000 a year 25 years ago, you'd have to be earning about $55,000 a year today to have the equivalent life, okay? And that's not happening for a lot of people. In fact, it's going the other direction. Other Aquarian themes that are unhealthy would be the distortion of understanding between two words that sound very similar but actually are very diametrically opposed. One is communism, and one is community. Community is where we, let's say, selflessly watch over and take care of each other in a way that is beneficial to the community as a whole. Okay? I believe that those themes were enshrined in our Constitution on paper, especially in such a way that the United States federal government was deliberately designed to be minimal by nature, and its role was purely supervisory, and it collected revenue through customs and excise duties for world trade at the time. Back in that day, there was no income tax, there was no payroll tax, there was no Social Security, no Medicare, no Medicaid, no IRS, no Federal Reserve. Everything was what I would call sovereign. Everything was sovereign. People basically could be who they are, do what they do. And very simplistically, it turned into what we call, I would call it just common sense, capitalism, free trade economics. And some folks figured out that doesn't work for me. It works fine if you are enterprising, you're hardworking, you're responsible, you care about your home, your country, your land, your family, your natural resources, and you put aside the, let's say, maniacal drive for power and control and money. And that would leave you with a country, sort of the, let's say, the idealized version of the United States, which would have been like it was before it was truly defiled, where the United States was comprised mostly, okay, I don't want to get into trouble here with, different population groups. But the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were basically formed by European immigrants who were sick of the tyranny and the murder and slaughter and perpetual warfare of Western Europe. So they come to America and they disperse, and it's all about small family farms. Everybody takes care of themselves, the community takes care of each other, we watch over each other, we do the best we can in challenging circumstances. There's no safety net, there's no support system. It's very, I would say, humanitarian. Hold on, I'm waiting for, okay, the signal's back. Sorry, I'm way out here. And so America evolves and grows to where we are today, where we now have this grotesquely obscene, overgrown, sour behavior of the United States federal government, federal banking system, and every three-letter department you can imagine, grossly corrupted, purely there for their own gain at the expense of we the people. And we the people are sick of it, absolutely sick of it. Out of a population of about 340 million, it's trying to reconnect. There's at least about 170 million people who want some common sense. Okay, I'm just going to keep walking. Hopefully that'll keep the signal going. What they want by common sense is radically, drastically shut down the federal government and all their corruption. And now you all know about the famous names up there with a lot of dirt. Shut all that stuff down. We don't need hardly any of it. Let's get back to some common sense. Let's get some financial sanity back in the country. Let's be prepared to go through some massive convulsions to get to a massive reset, and then get back to enjoying a proper life. So, no behavior is all highly Aquarian concepts of humanity. Oh, let's save humanity. And it's all wrapped up in these really, I would say, hypocritical, very disingenuous packages that are promoted by some of the elites of the elites. I'm sick of it, absolutely sick of it. Of course I want to fight pollution, I want to fight disease and all that, but there's ways to do it, and there's ways to do it. So let's talk about the North Node. America is born with the Leo North Node. It's not very well aspected, but it is there. So how does that contrast to the Aquarius South Node? The way I look at it, it's pretty simple. The United States is born to be a shining, glorious Leo-type example of what it means to be. Don't throw away all your humanitarian capacities down a massive sewer, like trying to save people. Oh, we're going to save everybody. We're going to save the world. We're going to police the world. Instead, you do just the opposite. Okay, looks like it reconnected again. Sorry about that. So, nationalism is a bad word, apparently. It indicates all these like hostile, aggressive, nasty people who wants to behave like a bunch of Nazis, okay? Please expand your understanding. Think of the Leo North Node. Imagine yourself as a Leo in a world community. You're not there as a Leo North Node to shine bright and show off and exert power and control in a forum of really bombastic, negative Leo energy, like a tyrant and a bully and a dictator and a thug. In fact, it's just the opposite. Think of the bright side of Leo: generosity, kindness, sharing, enjoying, celebrating the family as a group. Think of a pride of lions. I know lions are, I can't do a perfect analogy here, but in a healthy environment, The lions look after each other. They look after their particular territory, their particular community. Okay? And they don't do that to show off. They do that to survive. And it is the healthiest thing that they do for themselves and everyone else and nature. So my feeling is that, okay, I'm going to label myself now. You probably know this already, but my feeling is we need to recalibrate towards a Leo North Node behavior for America and Americans in federal government, federal banking, and get back to truth, honesty, tradition, courage, and all the good stuff of Leo. Leo energy it tends to be bright, and it likes to be shiny and true, and unhealthy Leo looks very, very different. But if we can focus as a country on the next Pluto cycle for the next 250 years, if we can emphasize the Leo North Node side of our journey and start to grow up and get away from this Aquarius South Node behavior, which is the default behavior, which is the black hole, it's the sinkhole, it's the sewer that we continuously fall into, we recalibrate to the Leo North Node, then we've got a chance of surviving the next Pluto cycle. That's my theory. That's my rant for now. I'm going to close this down. Give me a second here. I got to put my coffee down. I got to switch off the camera here. Let's see. Where is that? Rotate device. Okay, we got that. Okay, I'm just seeing a few folks here in the chat. Sorry about that. Anyway, we'll catch up again soon. Prepare yourselves. Be aware. Try and look around you. Try and embody Leo energy for yourself. Imagine that you are part. I guess I'm just speaking to the Americans right now, but try and live by example by embodying the glorious side of the Leo energy as the Leo North Node, and live by example. Am I sure I want to end? Yes. Okay, end.